Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I hope all of you at birthdays, anniversaries, or other great celebratory occasions, like Bruce, took the time to celebrate and were able to celebrate in whatever fashion you could this year, because you need to honor and to celebrate you. And of course, in the coming week, we will have the U.S. Thanksgiving. While it is restricted in terms of company, there is so much for us all to be so thankful for. So give thanks and celebrate the gifts of God, because they're all around you. There's a party going on right here. The celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're going to celebrate your party with you. Come on down. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We're going to celebrate and have a good time. Now, thank you, Lord. If you did not light a candle in honor of Kristallnacht, then light one now. Elevate one of those great souls, because the lighting of the candle just elevates the souls around you. Now, we're also just a month away from the first of the twin festivals of light, Hanukkah. Here's a little of what it's about so you can start getting ready. I myself am looking forward to the souffleur, the deep-fried donuts. After all, it is a holiday celebrating oil. Now, we all know the story. Around 170 before the Common Era, the temple in Jerusalem was sacked by the Syrian Hellenists, who forbade the practice of Judaism and erected an idol in the temple itself. Now, for several years, there was terrible persecution. And at one point, the Greeks arrived in Modin. It's a city just west of Jerusalem, which you can still visit today, actually, where they ordered the Jews to sacrifice a pig to the Greek gods. Now, the priest, Mattathias, refused. But somebody was willing to, and the priest killed the person willing to do the sacrifice, along with the Greek envoy, and a guerrilla war broke out. Now, this priest, Mattathias, and his sons, led by Judah, nicknamed Maccabee, the Hammer, which is also an acronym for Michamocha Be'alim Adonai, Maccabee, who is like you among the powers, O Lord, leads the revolt. Now, the actual fighting goes on for 25 years, but after the first three, the Maccabees reconquer Jerusalem and they start cleaning up. They clean up the temple, and the famous gold menorah had been melted down, so they lit a makeshift one with the one vial of official high priest lamp oil they found. The miracle of Hanukkah, of course, is that it burned for 8 days instead of one. And that allowed fresh oil to be brought to the temple. Now, the story is well told in the Talmud, in Shabbat 21b. And we'll be doing a Hanukkah festival in the weeks to come as we get closer. It's not really about oil. It's about the miracles in life. So think about the miracles in your life. And there are more than you think. And in addition to the donuts, we play what a dear friend of mine thinks is the most popular game in the world, Dreidel. And here is an awesome Dreidel playing the Dreidel song. And, we'll be doing Dreidel when we get closer to the time. Now, you will probably have very limited gatherings this year for Hanukkah. And you'll not be going to your regular synagogue to celebrate, but you can still get together in spirit, just as we come together as a like-minded group in spirit, the collective consciousness of seekers showing faith and love, a community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way you can to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yach. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yach. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is your setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and convene with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. Let's take some time now and send some of that goodwill, some light and some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. The world needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam, that is so much a part of our spiritual genetic makeup. So let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need. For those in our hearts and our minds. For Karen, for Frank, for John, Maria, for Adrian and Ferd. For Bob, for the Star Master, for the Talosaurus, for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. May the source of strength bless the one that's before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishuberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal us as healed before. Yishuberach, may he who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now this week we read toldot, often translated as generations, but not always so. And we've actually had a few already of these toldot. So this is nothing new. It moves us ahead in the story. That's what its purpose really is. Sometimes by many generations, sometimes by a few years. Genesis 25:18. This is the lineage of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took his wife Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean, from Paddan Aram, sister of Laban, the Aramean. It's not much in the way of generations, is it? But it is an originating story. And this is the second in a row of titles that do not do justice to their contents at all. It is an origin story of rivalry. And the only way it can end, the only way any rivalry can end, someone has to rise above it. And someone will. This is the story of rights, of deceptions, of the initiation of karma, of jealousy, of parental love and choice, of want and need, of fear, the age-old scream of sibling antipathy. My brother, if you could cast a little light on someone, it's not too soon. It took me halfway around the world. I'm running out of time and reasons. My true friend, if you could tell me what it is that keeps you from coming down. You lift me way up in the clouds. The higher you fly, the less I see you. Songs about brothers. Genesis 25:21. And Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife because she was infertile. God was prevailed upon him, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The children struggled inside her, and she said, if it's like this, why do I exist? And she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb. 2 peoples will be dispersed from your insides, and one people will be mightier than the other people. And the older, the younger, will serve. Now the determination of who's the number one son is still God's. This is a battle played out in so many households still to this day. However, the text here does not in fact say that the elder son will serve the younger son. In biblical Hebrew, the subject may either precede or follow the verb, and the object likewise may either precede or follow the verb. And so what that means is that sometimes it's impossible to tell which word in a biblical verse is the subject and which is the object, especially if the verse is written in poetry. Now, that is the case in this oracle to Rebekah, which is written in poetry. It can mean the elder will serve the younger, but it equally can mean the elder, the younger, will serve. Two complete opposites. We use our own narrative to give meaning. And you will pretty well only read that the elder will serve the younger in every translation. It has to be that way to fit the story. Now, like the great Delphic oracles in Greece, this prediction contains two completely opposite meanings. And so the person who receives it can hear whatever she wants to hear, consciously or subconsciously. Now, you give some thought. How would it be if it was understood to be, the opposite? You could do your own interpretation of the Torah based on that. Genesis 25:24. And her days to give birth were completed, and her were twins in her womb. The first came out all ruddy, like a hairy robe. They called his name Esau. After that, his brother came out. His hand was holding Esau's heel, and he called his name Jacob. Now, Isaac was 60 years old at their birth. He got married at 40, now he's 60. And the boys grew up, and Esau was a man who knew hunting, a man of the field. Jacob was a simple man, living in tents. Now, for thousands of years, we have sought out ways to demonize Esau. He's hairy. He's a hunter. So life means nothing to him. And in demonizing Esau, we sought ways to elevate Jacob. He was a tent dweller. Therefore, he was a Torah scholar, even though there was no Torah and no law to study. Why do we do this? And as you read the story, you see the enmity between them, between these brothers, become actually quite palpable. Oh, Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain of the scars that won't heal? Your eyes have died. You see more than I. Daniel, you're a star. In the face of the sky. Now, Jacob is the third of our patriarchs. Yet his behavior in this matter of the birthright and the blessing that we're reading about is an embarrassment. You cannot read this without expressing surprise at what this patriarch does to his brother and to his father. And you'll notice the Torah itself neither denigrates Esau nor justifies Jacob. On the contrary, one of the great qualities of the Tanakh is that none of its heroes is perfect. Moreover, the karmic lessons are obvious, as Jacob suffers some recompense for every deception he commits, as do Laban, Rachel, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, and Joseph's other brothers. It's quite the cornucopia of karma that we're about to get in front of us. The lesson is not only that people are not perfect, but that acts of deception can fester in a family and go on for generations, and they have consequences. Those who try to excuse Jacob and turn Esau into a villain are not understanding, and they're hiding essential lessons of the Torah. Now, perhaps the family rivalry was encouraged due to favoritism. Genesis 25:28. And Isaac loved Esau because he put game meat in his mouth, and Rebekah loved Jacob. Here you go. Each parent loves one of the two children. That cannot lead to anything good. And we know this story because of the two connecting events, the birthright and the blessing, the events that set in motion the entire canard. Genesis 25:29. And Jacob made a stew, and Esau came from the field and was exhausted. And Esau said to Jacob, will you feed me some of the red stuff, this red stuff, because I'm exhausted? And Jacob said, sell now your birthright to me. And Esau said, here, I'm going to die. What use is this that I have a birthright? Jacob said, swear to me today. And he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave bread and lentil stew to Esau. And he ate and drank and got up and went. Sell now your birthright to me. These are very deliberately chosen words, my friends. We do not know what might have precipitated this, but they are carefully chosen. The starving, perhaps dying Esau chose life and made the deal. The deal that Jacob demanded why. This parsha is filled with so many questions of why. Genesis 27:1. It was when Isaac was old, and his eyes were too dim for seeing. He called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." And he said to him, "I'm here." Now this is actually the perfect place, perhaps, for the double name calling. My son, my son. And I suspect it was because of the formula, name and response. The response always being, "I am here." This will mark a defining moment for this entire family forever. Isaac knows he's dying. And he says, "Make me the kind of delicacies that I love and bring them to me and let me eat, so my soul will bless you before I die." Rebekah was listening as Isaac was speaking to Esau, his son. Isaac's dying. He wants a last meal. Then he will bless his son. A father's blessing was in effect the transfer of authority, the passing of the baton. It had real meaning. Since she overheard, Rebekah calls Jacob to her, Genesis 27:8. "And now, my son, listen to my voice, to what I'm commanding you. Go to the flock and take 2 good goat kids for me. And I'll make them kind of delicacies that your father loves, and bring them to your father, and he'll eat, so he'll bless you before his death." And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "Here, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man. Maybe my father will feel me, and I'll be like a trickster in his eyes. I'll bring a curse on me and not a blessing." His mother said to him, "Let your curse be on me, my son. Just listen to my voice and go take them from me." His fear of being caught was not refusal for being ethically or morally wrong, but for being found out and suffering consequences instead of reaping rewards. This is a man ruled by fear from early in life. Rebekah was the mastermind. She was the new head of the family. She's the original Lady Macbeth, out-damned Spot. She thought this through. Genesis 27:15. And Rebekah took the finest clothes of Esau, her older son, that were with her in the house, put them on Jacob, her younger son, put the skins of the goat kids on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. She is the master of deception. She sends her creation off to Isaac, and he came to his father, and he said, "My father." And he said, "I am here. Who are you, my son?" And Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn." Now this would also be a great place for the double name calling formula. It is a defining moment. The lie has been told, the deception laid. But did you notice the question, who are you? Who are any of us? We could spend our lives asking ourselves who we are, asking the people in our lives who they are. Do we know? Do we care? Do we make excuses? My friends, who are you? Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything. Express your gratitude. Light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light, and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. As we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow. Pardon me, to learn to be to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to print your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. You have the time to forgive and to be forgiven because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, with accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those you've hurt as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness and compassionate peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself other people in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go, and work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. We're part of a greater whole, all of us. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief and what they mean for you, because they mean something different for everybody. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you have experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, and we help each other, because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have, or could have, a special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean, and remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, and they free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to the voice of God and his angels as they talk to you. They always do. And remember, we are witnessing breakdown of family. And it broke down because of lies, deception, jealousy, anger. And yet this time of year marks the beginning of when we want to come back together as family, hoping that we can be civil, kind, loving, supportive. All the things family should be, but too often is not. So please do go home for the holidays, if not physically, at least in your heart. Oh, there's no place like home. Oh, the holidays. 'Cause no matter how far away you roam, when you pine for the sunshine of our friendly gaze, for the holidays, you can't be home, sweet home. Well, thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week, great Thanksgiving, and be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself as we're about to enter the season of miracles. See the miracles in your life. They are there. Believe in them and in the grace of God. And I will see you all soon. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.